Good afternoon, and welcome to the Monday message for the second week of Advent. I'm here in my kitchen. There might be a little commotion. Our whole family is here. All five of us are home from school and working remotely from here so that we can be together on the holidays. And so it's a busy place. So my thoughts today have to do with the readings at Mass yesterday. If you got a chance to hear them, the first reading was from Isaiah, and it began, "Comfort, give comfort to my people." How do we give comfort this year during Advent when things are so upside down? And I had some thoughts about that. I read a book, and I believe it was called the Book of Ruth. It wasn't the Bible Book of Ruth, it was a work of fiction. But I believe that was the book that began something like, there are a million different ways that unhappy families are unhappy, but there's pretty much one way that happy families are happy. And I wanted to talk about that today because we lit our first candle as we did last week, and now our second candle, Bethlehem candle, is also also stands for faith. And so with our reading yesterday having to do with comfort, give comfort to my people. How do we give comfort in families? That can be the difference between a happy family and a less than happy family. So as a child, my family had some big problems, as any family does. We were so super happy and super close with all my extended family, but then a bad thing happened. Someone made a bad mistake, and my family really took sides, and everybody was really mad at the one member who made the mistake. And I was repeating, as a 12-year-old does, the things I was hearing from my extended family. And my mom, when we got home from a gathering, sat me down and said, "Listen, you are not allowed to say anything bad about that person in the family, because what has she done to you that has been at all mean or unkind?" And I said, "Well, she hasn't done anything to me, but she did something to that person." And my mom said, "No, and she went on to list all the kind things that my relative had done for me. She said, "You're not allowed to be at all unkind to her, because she has never in any way been unkind to you." Grown-up things happen, and usually there's a little bit of guilt on both sides. So as your experience with this person has only been positive, you are only allowed to treat her with kindness and respect. And I thought that was an awesome lesson. As I've gone through life, I have come upon many instances where someone has been unkind to me. And I almost think it's easier when someone hurts me for me to forgive them, because I know exactly what the hurt was and what it cost me. And if I'm going to forgive, I can more easily say, "I forgive you," when someone hurts me. I found, as I am now a parent, that it's much harder to give comfort or kindness to people who hurt people I love. I don't know. I know that this reading from Isaiah talks about forgiveness and healing. And on the average Catholic, the average person cannot heal unless they're a doctor or have some assistance. And short of miracles, we're not able to necessarily heal each other. We don't think of that as being something we're capable of doing on a regular basis. But as our little book says, we much more have forgiveness in our wheelhouse than we do being able to heal people. And so one thing to work on for me during this Advent time is forgiving people, not who have hurt me, but maybe have hurt people that I love. And the book talks about the only way to do that is to pray, to talk to Jesus and say, "You know, I can see that there has been forgiveness here by other people, and I'm really struggling with that. And I think that in our families, sometimes the hardest people to forgive are the closest people to us. You know, they say that, you only hurt the ones you love. Well, probably forgiving those people that you love may be on the harder side as well. So this Advent, take a look at the people in your life who might need you to forgive them, and who you might need to forgive. If you've ever gone to confession and confessed something to the priest, and I know people are all over the board with whether or not confession is needed for them. A lot of people feel like I can say sorry to the person and then I'm good. I don't need to confess my sins to a priest. But if you have ever had the experience of hurting someone who dies and you're never able to say you're sorry, the act of going to confession can be like being pulled out of you could be drowning in a lake of guilt for hurting that person that is gone now, and you can't say you're sorry. Going to confession and confessing your sins can be like being pulled out of a lake that you're drowning in. It can be like being given water when you are thirsty. It's an overwhelming peace that you can receive from the sacrament of forgiveness during this time of Advent. Finally, I know that tomorrow is a holy day, and so this is your second reminder about the holy day tomorrow. And I know that we still have if you read the article on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, it said that you're not required to go to Mass, of course, because it is a holy day of obligation, but you still should pay some attention. And so I have a little song, and of course I know what the sacrament of the Holy Day tomorrow is all about, but if you know, according to Deacon Greg, the readings are misleading because they are different than what the actual sacrament is, or what the actual Holy Day is. So the Annunciation is all about, or this day tomorrow is all about Mary being conceived without sin, and yet the reading has Gabriel's message. So I'm going to play a little bit of that song now, because to me, Gabriel's message Now, part of the idea of tomorrow to me is that happy families are usually happy in the same way, and they have forgiveness in them. They have kindness and comfort. They have what our little book talks about: faith, compassion, love, and joy. So this Advent, if you're suffering in your family from anything, try to be comfort to your family. Thank you. Have an awesome Monday.